Hey you guys! So in keeping with the theme of the week, I'm going to talk a little bit about books and why reading is important to me, and also what I think one of the problems is. So first of all, I read a lot. I love to read. I'm just constantly always reading something. My favorite series include Anne of Green Gables. I love The Secret Garden. Harry Potter is So, I got into reading really early. My parents would take me to the library when I was 2, and I would just spend hours reading and playing games. And reading was really important to me because it helped me, what's that word? You know the word that means it helped me develop. It helped me develop my creativity. And I can honestly say that I'd be a very different person if I hadn't been reading all these years, because when you read, you can go to so many different places and experience so many different things that you wouldn't have been able to experience otherwise. I mean, I live in a middle-class household in the middle of white suburban Michigan, and I will say that I have not had much strife in my life. I haven't had to battle a lot of big illnesses or anything. But when I read, I get all these experiences I wouldn't have had otherwise. I gain the ability to empathize with people who I have never met. And that's important. I think one of the problems is that when we're children, we kind of feel like we're supposed to love reading. And that can be a problem. Because it can be hard for a lot of kids to read, there are a lot of letters, you have to recognize all of them, and when there are other people in your kindergarten class who are reading at a 5th grade reading level, it becomes difficult to care, because you're just well, I'll just be good at coloring instead. And that can carry on through the rest of your life. For example, in 8th grade, they made us read The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. At least I believe it was by Stephen Crane. And it was one of the worst books I've ever read. I hated it. I only read half of it. It was awful. And then there were all these people that were like, it's such a good book, so inspirational. And I felt like I was doing something wrong. And I think that's one of the problems, is that a lot of the time we're not encouraged to read what we like and read something that will enrich us. We're encouraged to read what other people have liked, and that can be a problem. So, for literacy workshops and stuff, we give them worksheets and we give them articles, but maybe that's not what they're interested in. Not everyone is going to be interested in the Amazon rainforest. Not everyone is going to be interested in a documentary about literacy, for example. I think what people really need to do is they need to get themselves psyched up about reading by thinking of what interests them and then finding a book that crosses over with that. And once you do that, you'll be more open to other types of books as well. Because first you need to develop that skill, and then you can move on to reading lots of other types of books. So, I guess that's kind of my helpful tip thing for people who don't really like to read. Kind of find out what you're interested in. If you're only interested in computer coding, feel free to read a book about that. It's okay. You don't always have to be reading the New York Times bestsellers to be a good reader. And I think that's really important to note. So yeah, happy Thursday. Sorry the video was so short. I'm kind of crunched on time today.